Hello, everybody. Welcome to Code Breakers Live. He is risen. And aren't we having a wonderful Easter today? We are. I actually got to eat and do an Easter egg hunt before we even started. So I am not hungry. Usually I'm a little bit hungry. By the time I do the show, I don't eat usually till afterwards, but yay for Easter. Ate before. We had a delicious meal with the family. The kids are all so cute, just so adorable. And I've got to tell you guys what happened to me this week at the White House. Sorry, I can't help but be excited because there is the most exciting thing. Like I'd been there before for the faith office leaders meeting actually a year ago. It was the end of April, so it was almost a year ago that I was last at the White House, but I wasn't inside. I was in the Roosevelt building on the side. This time we were actually inside the White House, both my husband and I, just not even believing we were there. It was it was very exciting. And the way it happened was this time last week, did the show with you guys, went home, woke up Monday, got the kids to school. I was doing my regular Monday stuff. And then next thing, I pulled into the gas station to fill my tank with gas and I see I'd missed a call. I didn't recognize the number. And then I saw that they had left a voicemail. And you know how you can get the text of your voicemails now? I don't know if you guys have done the latest updates on your iPhones, but you can it transcribes, sorry, your voice messages. And I see Carol from the White House. I almost fell over. White House. So I opened it up. I listened to the message, and had been trying to reach me and had the wrong email address to let me know I was invited to the faith leaders Easter brunch at the White House. And so, of course, I had 2 days to figure out how I was going to get there, what I was going to wear, everything. Not even 2 days. No, we had to leave because I'm not flying in an airplane right now, and that would have been, especially with everything that's been going on at airports. We were just like, "There's no way. We can make it in 10 hours from our house to the White House. So let's drive." So we got in my truck, my husband and I, my sister and my stepson Skylar, who is older. He's in his 20s, so he was able to help too. They were able to take care of the kids. And Monday evening, my husband took me to the mall. He said, you have to wear something. You have to have something nice to wear." And we didn't know, what do you wear to the White House for a brunch? And so that was a whole thing. And he took me to the mall, and you know, I'm not much of a shopper. I actually don't. I, I'm not a normal woman. I'm very impatient with shopping, and so he came with me and helped me pick a very nice floral dress. And we packed our bags. And Tuesday morning, we got in my truck and drove all day into the night. Got there, checked into the hotel, went to sleep, woke up in the morning, got dressed. We had to be there by. It started at 12:30, and we had to be there by 11:30. And so there's nowhere to park either. So I mean, the whole time we were there, we just had my truck parked. I just paid for parking in the parking garage at the hotel. And the hotel is 1 mile. It's the Holiday Inn there in the mall. So it's only a mile from the White House. So we got an Uber or taxi cab. I don't even remember. And went over there, and it was surreal. It was so it was so nice. Like everything was really nice. Everybody who's there, like telling you where to go, playing music, they're all military, and but dressed very nicely. And they had the most beautiful cookies, you guys. So they have the brunch buffet with delicious food, and they had these sugar cookies that had real. I wish I'd brought it with me. I didn't eat it. I couldn't eat this cookie. It's a sugar cookie, and on the top of the sugar cookie was a pressed flower. And I've never seen anything so beautiful. I said to my husband, "How am I going to eat this? I'm taking this home." And I carried that cookie home with me. It's broken in half. I told my sister she's got to glue it back together with the White House napkin. But we went and I did not officially meet President Trump. He didn't engage or greet anybody individually. It would have taken way too long. He Everybody was there. Now JD Vance came walking in, just and it's so strange when you watch people all the time, you kind of you know them, especially in this day and age, the way social media is. It's not like in the old days where you would see official statements on television and we see so much more nowadays because of technology, social media. So you feel like you know the person, and then you're just like, well, wait a minute, he has no idea who I am. So it's like, what am I going to do? And so I didn't do very much, running up and it's nice to meet you. I didn't do that. Um, I just wanted to behave. I was so grateful to be in the White House. And so there were some friends there. Jackson Lawmeyer was there, and my pastor, Greg Locke. I was so happy to see him. He was right there when I walked in the door. He was there, and Franklin Graham was there. That was just, it was really amazing and such a surprise. So unexpected. Um, but amazing, just amazing. It was President Trump is so funny. He's just exactly what you see. He's that way. He is who he is, and it was really cool. And I was so grateful to be in attendance. My husband too. He kept, just he was just so surprised. Not even surprised, just overwhelmed. I think to be there and all the beautiful artwork on the walls of the paintings of the different presidents. That was really, really cool to see, all the beautiful paintings everywhere. And then, of course, Trump opened the door behind him and showed everybody the ballroom, which was behind him, which now is a big hole there. I didn't even see in there. I was on the side. Um, I met a priest from Spain, and I was telling him all about my mom and dad and how they adopted the children from China, and just telling him the whole story about how they, um, were funding and raising funds to get surgeries for the orphans in China, especially the special needs children who needed care they weren't getting. And of course, this was the one child law was still in effect. This is like 2010, 11. Whenever the earthquake happened in Japan, I think it was 2011. So it was around about that time. So they still had the one child law. And, um, when I was telling this priest about it, he was so engaged with the story, because the story is so incredible of how they adopted the children, and how they adopted each of them. First, it was Shalianne and Mia. Um, and then who came after Shalianne and Mia? Kimby, then Matt, then Shushu. And so I was telling him the whole story, and he was holding my hands like this. And then someone came up and said, because our table was too crowded, and said, okay, well, we found another seat for you where there's more space. And they took him away, and he was just so you just never know who you're going to meet in the White House. And then the most amazing thing happened. Franklin Graham, I don't know if you guys could have seen it live. Many of you, I'm sure, watched it because it was being broadcast. You might even have seen me. So if President Trump, if you look at the video, President Trump is, if you're facing the direction he was facing when he was speaking to everybody, I was to his left at the table. And the one guy he kept shouting at about the fraud and the Venezuela oil, I was sitting right next to him. So when Trump was pointing his finger and speaking to him, I was right there just smiling, just big cheese. Um, so then let me tell you the coolest part. So then Franklin Graham gets up and starts praying. What did you guys see? What did he pray about? What was the theme of Franklin Graham's prayer? Esther. It was Esther. And guess who was sitting at his table? Erica Kirk. And guess who I met in the bathroom? Erica Kirk. It was, and it was crazy too, because I wasn't trying to meet. I didn't even know she was there. I mean, I knew she was at the event, but I didn't know she was in the bathroom, and I had to go to the bathroom, and so I slipped away. And the bathrooms aren't inside; you have to go back out, and then they have, like, I think it's because they're doing construction now in that area, and so there's like a porta potty, but it's not a porta potty. It's like a, I don't even know, like in a trailer bathroom. Very nice though. And I went in and I was washing my hands, and someone comes up next to me, is washing their hands, and I look over, and it was Erica Kirk, and I was like, Erica Kirk, oh my goodness. And so we met in the bathroom, and she is just, oh my goodness, what she's been through. But it was just really interesting to me that God has me at the White House for the Easter brunch. Franklin Graham is there. He prays about Esther, and then I meet Erica Kirk. Mm. All while we're with the Iran war, which, by the way, we're going to go into my X page now. So that is what happened. When it was over, you're in the White House, so you really want to behave. Like, that was my thing. Is like, don't want to do anything. I don't want to do anything that I'm not supposed. I don't want to draw attention to myself. I don't want to, just make sure that I am behaving as you're supposed to. I mean, I did, but of course, I wasn't running up to people to introduce myself. I felt a little bit weird about. I wanted to meet Franklin Graham. I felt a little bit shy, honestly, and um, I was just so grateful to be there, you guys. I was so grateful. I had my beautiful little cookie. And I wish I'd grabbed a couple more of those cookies, because I want to frame them or something. It was just amazing. And I think about my dad, and if my dad were alive, he definitely would have been there in the White House. I'm sure Trump would have had him playing the piano. We would have had my dad doing all kinds of things, I'm sure. And so I kept thinking about him. And the other thing I have to say is the presence of God was there in that room, and it was very powerful. And you know, for everything that we've all been through with President Trump, and oh my goodness, the Biden years, and all the Russia hoax, and the impeachments, and COVID, and so much that we've been through, and then there we stood in the White House, and it was a meeting of faith leaders. So everybody there is a faith leader from somewhere in the country. And when they address you at those meetings, they're addressing you as a faith leader, as someone representing your congregation, or in there. And so very people that God has put a responsibility on gathered together that way, with the president, with the leader, and then gathering to pray like that. The presence of God was there. It was powerful. And to think of the Biden years, and if you guys remember the last Easter with Biden, I mean, that was a huge difference to what is there now. I mean, we saw the behavior and the things that went on, the blasphemous things that went on at the White House during Easter under Biden, and then the stark contrast of men and women of God not only gathering in the White House, but the fact that there is a faith office there, and that is thanks to President Trump. And he's making sure that Christians are also protected. Because one thing I can tell you is, under the Obama years, when Dad was still alive, it was a struggle, a battle, and that is not the case anymore. And again, it was amazing. And the fact that I met Erica, that was a big deal. That meant something to me prophetically, because there was Franklin Graham. You have to remember, this isn't just about the people who are there. It's about legacy. Franklin Graham, Billy Graham's son. I was there as Kim Clement's daughter. Like, there was this. Oh, it was a beautiful thing. It was really a beautiful thing, and I'm just so grateful to Paula White for inviting me and making sure my husband could get in too, because they only give out one. You don't have a plus one, so I didn't have a plus one. I had an invite, and I had my husband with me, and I asked the lady Carol that I spoke to from the White House. She's very nice, and also Paula, and I said, I've got my husband with me. Like, do you think you can get him in? Because I was so scared to go alone. I was so scared to go alone. And they said that they couldn't promise, but they would do what they could, because it was a high demand thing. And 10 o'clock the next morning, he got the email with the confirmation that he could come. And I almost burst out crying because that's when we were about to head out the door to to drive, and I didn't know if I was going to be going in alone or not. And just for them to be able to get him in as well, and he was so grateful. It was amazing. It was really amazing. And so that's what happened. Lou, do we have now? I did a behind the scenes. I did behind the scenes for our partners. So if you're a partner, you can go there now and watch my behind the scenes. I could have done probably a lot better. Um, but again, I was nervous. I was nervous about where will I film. So those of you who saw analysis on Wednesday, the way we did it was Christy hosted from home and then I came in from the White House and I had to film my parts somewhere there. I wanted to do it somewhere there and I didn't know what the rules are. I don't know what the rules are. Can I film? Can I not film? I don't know. And so we after we had left, I went out in the front of the White House in front of the gate this time though. I had tried in front of just the White House. I know on the thumbnail today you see that picture of me just standing right there in front of the White House. I was only allowed to very quickly take that picture. We came out the side and I had planned to try to film right there my bit for analysis, but some heavily armed people, I mean a huge man all in black, like bulletproof vest and a huge gun, and he came over and with someone else, and we were like, we just wanted to get a picture. Is that okay? Can we use our camera here? And he said yes, but you have to do it quickly. And so when you see us getting those pictures, there's a picture of my husband and I, and there's a picture of me alone in front of the White House. We were doing that really fast, and so that's why I didn't film analysis, my bits for analysis there. I went out and then stood in front of that gate, and then there were more military there, like asking what we were doing. I said, I just can I take some pictures and just film something really fast? And they said yes. And so, but they were also like right there. So that's why you see me kind of going fast and a little nervous because I didn't know how much time I had and I didn't want to make anybody mad or do anything to where they don't invite me back. So if you didn't see analysis, you can go watch analysis. You can see I talked about what our broadcast. I just did it from there. And then the behind the scenes stuff that I filmed is in the partner section. So if you're a partner, you can go over there if you haven't seen it and see some of what I filmed behind the scenes. If you're not a partner, the information is on the screen right now. You can join us. If you have any trouble, we had a little bit of trouble with our website last week. I think there was just too much traffic. Just keep trying. Because I know last week there was a bit of traffic for people we saw people trying to join and not being able to get on. So just try again if you have any trouble. And let me just look at the comments here because I've been just talking, and I haven't actually read. Hang on a minute. I haven't actually read your. Yes, I see the Erica Kirk is causing people to manifest. Stop. Let me tell you something. That poor woman, what she's been through, and the amount of accusation that has come against her is demonic. That's what's demonic. And if you haven't noticed that yet, I beg of you to just pray, because the enemy accuses, the enemy throws stones, the enemy lies. And there's so much confusion that's going on right now. So much confusion. It's being caused by the devil. And if someone's getting mad at you because you don't want to hate the Jews with them, then you better start praying, because that's not normal. And it's okay. It's fine to criticize the Israeli government if you don't like things they're doing, but that's not what's going on here. That's used as the launching pad for the excuse. Why can't I criticize the Israeli government? But then it doesn't turn into that. And if you've spent any time online, you'll see that people start just shouting about the Jews. And we've seen that before. So it should be very easy to navigate through this. And recognize, okay, the devil is at work here. Why? What is the fruit? Those who accuse, what is their fruit? What is the fruit of those who accuse? Because man, it's gotten difficult. It really has. But there was an incredible rescue that happened. You guys, I'm so mad at Hollywood because with the whole woke nonsense that has been going on and everything that's happened to Hollywood, how many opportunities have they missed for some incredible movies where they would have made a fortune because we would have all gone to see them? But again, it's so demonic what has happened. And these people are so consumed. What is driving is what is driving them hate? Hatred for Trump, hatred for the Jews, hatred for Erica Kirk, because someone got in your ear and with a bunch of nonsense that's none of it is provable. And the stuff that's actually provable in court, nobody wants to listen to. So it's like a lose-lose, and that's how it works with the enemy. So the way I've navigated through a lot of this stuff is that I ask, what is the fruit? For instance, look at Candace Owens. What is her fruit? What is the fruit of her work? Now look at what Erica Kirk's doing. She picked up against her will. She said, this isn't what she didn't want her husband to die. If you think she had anything to do with killing her own husband, you've gone off to crazy land with Candace Owens. And I pray for you. I pray for you. I pray for your mind, because it's a terrible torture that's happening. And it's happening. I'm seeing your comments, Florida Beach Mom. I see you there. That reporter you're talking about. I'm telling you, it's what is happening is an attack. It's part of the war. Part of this war is the warfare that is being conducted on the minds of the American people, so that we will not support our own country and our own president and our own ends. And so when you start to hear information, ask yourself, what is the fruit of it? Who does it benefit? Does it benefit the Iranian regime? And then have a look at where that information is coming from. A lot of people are being lied to. They're not liars, they've been lied to. And they really believe whatever it is. And so the way besides my dad's prophecies, which have been very helpful because it kind of gives you a little bit of a guide of where things are going. And certainly when it comes to the Iranian regime and the beast of the East and Russia joining hands with Iran. And the other country he said was Syria, and there's some concerning things happening with Syria. I've been watching that Al Jilani guy. I don't trust him. Dad did have a word, Florida Beach Mom, for Mel Gibson. Before he made Passion of the Christ, my dad had a friend who worked with Mel Gibson. And the friend went to my dad and said, do you have a word for Mel Gibson? That used to happen sometimes. And if he didn't have one, he would say, no, I don't have anything. But in this case, he did. And what he did was he wrote it down. I don't know what he wrote, like verbatim. I know. Well, but he always was respectful of people's privacy. But he did tell us that he told him that the movie that he was thinking about making and wasn't sure about, that he should make that movie. And that was The Passion of the Christ. And so, yes, that did happen. Yeah, tabloid reporter. That's right, West Virginia, Mountain Mama. And it hasn't always been like this. A lot of people have kind of, we don't hate them. They're just a little bit lost. Here comes Lou.
Did you see in London that they put up a big screen and they played Passion of the Christ?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
For Easter.
For Easter.
Oh, good on them.
I think it was on Friday or Saturday. It was a huge screen in the middle of Trafalgar, where the lions
Trafalgar
are,
Square?
where the lions are. They had a huge screen
I have
there.
such a memory of there.
And they played Passion of the Christ loud over London.
Oh, that's wonderful news. We are praying for England. Anybody from England in the chat?
I saw the show they did in Texas, the crucifixion and the drone show. It was excellent, amazing. The drone show.
The drone show. Yeah, they can't hear you.
Oh,
sorry, my sister's talking about the drone. I don't know if you guys saw the drone show.
In Texas,
Jesus.
they had.
We could probably look at that.
A whole. It's on X, I think.
Yeah, let me look at it.
They had a whole lot of drones that predicted Jesus on the cross, and as it starts coming, he
depicted. You mean
depicted? Sorry.
Where is Shay?
My English
Where
so
is
bad.
You speak English.
And it was just like these beautiful colors and just him like leaning forward.
I've seen it. I'm looking for it right now. Let's see, what's it called? Does anyone know what it's called in the chat? How can I search it? What would I say? Where was it? Texas drone Jesus. Let's have a look. Oh, here it is. Here, Lou. Mirror my X page. There we go. Let's start it over. That's amazing. Now, it's good to see. It's good to see technology being used to glorify God. You know, everybody's so scared of the technology, and there's all your mark of the beast and all the bad stuff, and that's coming, and it's you know, what can we do? But when anything is used to glorify God, that is awesome. That's really awesome. That's really cool. And it's amazing what they can do with a drone. Oh yeah. It really is. Okay, now I got to find my way back to my. There we go. Okay, Lou, you can mirror my page again. You actually could have left it. Okay, so let's go through X a little bit, see what's happening. I don't know too much about the rescue. I'm kind of the information is still coming through, but I saw President Trump's post. He is trolling the Iranian regime. And did you guys see how many of the Iranian people went out and made a traffic jam, and were blocking the IRGC and the Basij from getting to that pilot? And then there was the group that were trying to go for the $60,000 reward, and I think they all got wiped out. Is that it? See if what the chat says. The largest drone show in U.S. history with 9,000 drones. And it was used to glorify Christ for Easter. Yes, that is awesome. So, I'm just looking at your 2C. I saw a little bit of 2C this morning. I was a little busy because we were getting ready for Easter, but I saw a little bit of it. I'll be filled in tonight on that. UK's William has said he refuses to be head of the church. Yeah, you know what? Oh, hi there. Someone from Wales. Yes, there's a couple of English people. Hi, British. Hi, British friends. It's been so long since I've been there. I do love England. I would give anything for a Cornish pasty right now. That is the most delicious thing. And the thing is, you can't just make the pastry for that. It's like a special way you make it. You've got to have the butter has to be cold when you mix it into the dough so that there's bits of it. It's like crumbled cold butter in when you make the dough. It's a little bit complicated. So the dough is different. But the Cornish pasty, that is the most delicious. Yeah, I know. People get so mad when I bring up Erica Kirk or Candace Owens. But that is what tells you. That's very telling. Yeah. It's okay, you guys. You can be mad at me if you want, but I'm sorry. I can't support what Candace Owens is doing. It's an ugly thing that's happened. And she's very against evangelical Christians. I hope you know that. So is Tucker Carlson. He says evangelicals he hates more than anyone, and is now encouraging people to embrace Sharia law, that we should have that in America. And this is exactly what my dad prophesied. Not about Tucker or Candace. He didn't even know who they were. But about this happening. The rise of the Fourth Reich wasn't it was literal hatred for the Jews. And he said that what would defeat that would be the name of Christ. Yeah, I just, I pray for those people. I mean, I've made it clear to you guys how I feel, but I don't want to talk about Tucker and Candace. It is so awful and ugly what's going on. And I'm telling you, look at the fruit. Because Erica's not doing that. They are. They're attacking. They're throwing the stones. They are accusing. What does the devil do? He accuses. Under the guise of, we're going to get to the truth. We're going to expose the corruption. And so the enemy uses that desire in us to do that and corrupts it. And that is what you've seen happen. Both of those people didn't used to think that 4 or 5 years ago. Go back and look at the outrageous difference. It's shocking, a complete 180. And I don't know who's getting paid what. I don't know. But all I know is the fruit's not good. Whatever you think of TPUSA or Erica Kirk, they're doing good. Their fruit is helping young people. It's not harming them. I would like to know the fruit of Tucker and Candace aside from causing division, confusion, and fracturing the conservative base leading up to the midterms. That's not good fruit. So I challenge you, whoever you are, getting mad at me, why are you mad? You should ask yourself that. Why are you getting mad over Erica Kirk? You really think she worked with the Israelis and the French to assassinate her own husband, that she was a honeypot and it was a big scheme the whole time? Them falling in love and having the children, she dedicated her life. You understand how that's not right? And sometimes it just takes, you don't even have to, you should pray, but you don't even have to. You just look and try to be unbiased. Try to let go of, I'm on this side or that side. Because your side could change. I've seen that happen. Gosh, the last few months, I've really seen that change to where I've even gotten to the point where I'm just kind of pulling back because what's going on here is, like I said, it's warfare. If you don't open your X, and I noticed this the other day, if you don't open your X, you won't feel those things. You won't know those things. The minute you open your social media, and we all do that because we're using that for news, communication, all kinds of things. It's fine to use it if you want to. If you don't feel to use it, you should turn it off. But, the Iranian regime, and not just the Iranian regime, the Islamists are master propagandists. They're really good at it. So are the Russians. So you get the Russians and the Iranians, the Islamists, joining hands. What happens? An exquisite propaganda campaign that is working. It is working. Think about how we were leading up to Trump. We were united. We were together. Trump needed to win that election because we knew the risk. And we linked together and we said, you know what? Protestant, Catholic, denomination, we don't care. We are the children of Christ. We're standing together and we are strong. So what would the enemy want to do to that strength and unity? Weaken it, fracture it. That's exactly what he's done. Because I can't say the name Erica Kirk without getting people, I'm seeing you in the chat. That's not normal. Because I don't hate Candace Owens. I feel really bad for her.
I used to love her.
She's what used to be one of my favorites. Same for Tucker. I used to love Tucker. It's not like I don't like these people or I can see what happened to them. And that's what I don't like, because the fruit of that has not brought out any truth. What more do you know now that's provable? Not just because Candace Owens feels it or dreams it or promises the receipts she never gives you. Okay? Where's the fruit? What is she giving to this? And that's what you really have to look at. Again, I don't want to talk about that anymore. I want to talk about this. I knew that was going to come up, but you know what? I've met her face to face. And that woman did not kill her husband or have anything to do with it. And that accusation is insane. And the truth will come out about it eventually. And so just everybody, because I'm not accusing anybody. I don't know what Candace and Tucker and all that little crowd, what's happened to them. I feel like people have been lied to. I think there's been lies coming down. And I think that it has to do with the Islamist takeover of this country in the West. Part of that warfare is on your mind. And it's demonic. It is demonic what is happening. Now, we know the Russians are good at propaganda. Now you got the Islamists with them. And now they have social media. That is a war on us. That is warfare being waged on us because they can't come in on the ground. They can't take us militarily, so they're infiltrating from within. They are the objective being take over the West, take over America, rename Israel. My dad prophesied they would want to do this. He prophesied it from Detroit. I wish I had that one. Oh my goodness. Bali, where is that prophecy? He was in Detroit and he said they want to change the name of America. They want to change the name of Israel. And they're infiltrating. And in 2010, from France, he told them there's going to be a rise of a Fourth Reich. And England, France, Germany, Italy, Poland, and some other countries, European countries, are going to have to fight a short war. And America was not there in that prophecy. And he said they would overcome an agreement between Russia and Iran. And the result would be reconciliation. But the only way the battle would be won is if the name of Yeshua is on their lips. It would be the name of Christ that would overcome the invasion. And my dad did see ultimately, for my British friends in the chat today, he saw that ultimately you would win. So I'm here to tell you today that you have victory over this. You haven't got there in time yet. So do what you got to do, but you keep the name of Jesus on your lips. You in England right now, you put his name on your lips. And say it into the atmosphere, into that demonic presence. Keeps thinking it's won, but I'm telling you it has not. And the same goes for, I don't know how things will end up in Iran. Because once America and Israel, which Dad prophesied that would happen, watch what God does with the United States of America and Israel at the same time. My fury has ended, says the Lord. What is it called? Operation Epic Fury. He showed me the lion, rising lion, roaring lion, or the Israeli operations. Prophesied to Bibi Netanyahu and said, Bibi Netanyahu, with Iran, what you're thinking about doing, go ahead and do it, but do it quickly. He saw a short war in Europe. And again, he didn't say anything about America. He never said America wasn't there, but he didn't list them. And, actually, let me scroll here. Lou, you can go back to my X page. Apparently, people are complaining about the cost of rescuing our pilot. And this lady says, a little perspective. The cost of rescuing that airman in Iran, lost aircraft and all, was a fraction of the cost of Somali fraud in Minnesota. So there's some perspective. Let's have a look here. I think this was today. 9th cabinet meeting, I'm not sure, but it says Trump-Vance administration dropped a bombshell on America's enemies, announcing that no more taxpayer dollars for hostile nations that hate America. If you vote against us at the UN, chant death to America, or fund anti-American NGOs, you're cut off. That is how it should be. Let's hear it.
This is not our money. The president views the last 40 years as an era of which American workers and American farmers have been ripped off. They've been ripped off, and what he's saying is we want to have trade with the world, but it has to be a trade in which American businesses and American workers and the products they make and what American farmers grow and produce has a fair shot to be sold around the world. On issue after issue, that's been the case. You talk about foreign aid reforms. This is not our money. This is taxpayer money. When the president has said is we're going to do foreign aid, but we're going to do foreign aid for countries that are aligned with the United States and in a way that doesn't waste the taxpayers' money.
Thank you. I love Rubio. Rubio is my favorite in the administration. America, please don't listen to the new narrative that we wasted so much equipment to save one life. There's a reason recruiting is through the roof, and it's because we don't leave our sons and daughters behind enemy lines because it's financially inconvenient. Right. Perspective. And you know what? Whether you support the war or not, it's happening. The worst thing you could do is say, well, I didn't want to go to war. I don't like this. So I'm not going to support my own country. And I'm going to root for them to fail. I can't think of anything more foolish and unpatriotic than that. Selfish. I don't agree. Some person posting on X saying this. They weren't in the room seeing what the president and the generals and all of them are seeing as the threat. And then it was proven because they weren't supposed to be able to launch those missiles more than 2,000 kilometers or I don't know if it's miles or kilometers. And they ended up launching at 4,000. I mean, it's very easy to stick a nuclear warhead on that and just nuke Europe. They were right. But no one ever wants to admit when they're wrong. Gosh, I don't mind at all. You guys know that. I'm always like, I was wrong. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, there was a couple of things I wanted to say. The Iranian people blocking the traffic, but here's this. Oh, Robbie Starbuck says, this is absolutely going to be a movie one day soon, and the screenwriter better not miss the fact that he was lost on Good Friday in local time zone and rescued on Easter before sunrise. Beautiful. Beautiful. That is beautiful. Oh, that's so exciting. U.S. flew in, built a secret U.S. base, landed 2 C-130s, I don't know what that is, ran 5 miles to a distant mountain, rescued a severely injured pilot from the mountain, traveling 35 miles back by foot across one plane while engaged in massive nighttime fire. What a movie! Oh my gosh, please, Lord Jesus, if Hollywood's done, we need something else, because the story has to be told. We have to see what happened. President Trump had a front row seat. They did not leave the White House all weekend. They were in there, locked in, engaged, and President Trump was watching and directing all of that. I cannot imagine what it must have been like in that room. I can't imagine what it must have been like in that room. And then you had the Iranian citizens, the people who don't support the IRGC, blocking traffic and helping them. Oh my gosh, that is brilliant. God is amazing. God is cool. There's a picture from it. That is amazing. Goldie, she's if you guys don't follow Goldie Gamari, she has been reporting since the end of December, or before, I'm sure. She used to be in Parliament in Canada. She's an Iranian diaspora. She's in the diaspora of Iranian people who had to flee. And she says, notice how no one is honking or yelling about the blocked roads. Everyone is just casually standing around, calmly talking. This traffic jam is on purpose. It's meant to slow down and even block IRGC and besieged terrorists from getting to the pilot. I told you that Iranians in occupied Iran were mobilizing to help our American and Israeli allies rescue the second U.S. pilot. There's absolutely no other reason why Iranians were out like this so late at night and during a war, randomly blocking roads and streets. The people of Iran are allies of the United States and Israel. And that's right. There they are. I love them. I love Iranian. I had no idea how cool Iranians were until recently. He should. It's more likely that Mel Gibson would be the one doing it. But my sister's telling me someone said Mel Gibson should direct the movie. And it would be beautiful if he did. He's such a good storyteller. Here's more. Increasing number of reports that the Iranian people in Dasht poured into the streets and physically blocked the roads during the search for the U.S. pilot in order to prevent IRGC forces from reaching the pilot's location. There's more. Let's see this. I haven't actually heard this. I don't know what the audio is on this. I only saw. You see this? There's no audio. See how they're blocking it? Shame. You know what? They want to be free. The Iranian people, and there are, of course, those who support the IRGC and those who, yeah, you're going to have that. I mean, it's a country of 90 million people, but I'm telling you, the majority of them do not want this. And it's just like Dad prophesied. God says of Iran, I will spite the devil. I will spite the devil. And the way that Rome was taken down from within, that's what will happen with Iran. That's what God showed him. Hundreds of thousands of Christians will be free in Iran. And I'm seeing more and more reports. That's really cool. We posted this morning. Lou, did you post that? Beautiful. That was really nice. Really cool. Lou did this, you guys. I love it. This is not a real photo of the rescue. I think this is an AI or stock. But it's okay. It sort of represents what's happened because we don't have the pictures. Here's another Iranian voice. As an Iranian watching this rescue mission unfold, I was praying the American pilot would make it out alive, not just for him, but so the Islamic Republic could not use him as a bargaining chip or claim some twisted victory. At the same time, I felt a deep envy. Your government sent elite special forces, $1 million aircraft, and moved heaven and earth to bring one American home. No hesitation, no excuses. In Iran, the regime uses human shields and recruited child soldiers to clear minefields during the Iran-Iraq war. They treat their own people like disposable tools. They are now recruiting child soldiers as we speak. The Islamic Republic has zero regard for human life. That's the brutal difference. One side risks everything to save their own. The other sacrifices their own to stay in power. This hits hard when you've lived under both realities. Wow. And then, and again, you must ask about the fruit. What is the fruit? Oh, you guys. Oh, here we go. Jacqueline, you've got them. Yeah. Okay, there's something special I want to do today. I want to, okay, so for those of you who don't know, let's click on this. This is my husband. Posted this. These are his paintings, and you can get a print of them. You guys most of you already know this. One at a time, yeah. So this is the first one. Just hold them. You can hold them all up. She's got all of them.
I might drop one. That's why I wanted to kind of
okay.
One at a time.
Okay, she's going to bring that here. We are going to give away all 4 prints of my husband's paintings to someone in the chat today. I haven't figured out how we're going to choose someone, though. So here's the original Jesus. John did this. Go over to your right a little bit. No, left. Again. There, okay. And you see what the paper that it's printed on is a canvas. It's not just regular paper. This is a special, it's not actually paper, it's canvas. And so, and then it's got, this is real gold leafing. And actually, these were done just yesterday. And who did? Shalianne and Mia, 2 of my sisters, and my daughter put the gold on. My husband's been teaching them how to do it. So this is put on by the hands of my brothers and sisters and my daughter. They actually did this. And so this is the first one. I get the second. And that's the first one he ever did. And then she's going to bring the second one. We want to give this package. So all 4 will be in one. We want to give that away to someone today for Easter. Okay, this is the one he did in December. He did the lion in between these, but they're probably not going to be in order. Move over to your left again. No, right. But I said left before. You don't know your left and right, Jacqueline.
Yes, I do.
She doesn't know her left and right. Okay, so this one is the one he did the end of last year. It also has gold leafing on it. Move it down a little so they can see the gold. You see the gold? That's real gold. And we have to paint on the glue and then add the gold and press it in. You got to use a brush, and it makes a big mess. But that's that one. Okay, now get the next one. So I'm showing you all 4. If you want to get one or all of these, you just email my husband. His email address is at the bottom of the screen, johnpetrushka@mac.com. That's the only way you can get these. The ministry does not sell them, and the ministry, it's just my husband at home, and then we help him. This is the lion, and this one also has the gold on the crown. And notice the eyes are blue, which is so beautiful. Now, this one, he did move this way. No, that way. Up. This is the one he did after God gave me the vision of the lion. And that God gave me at the end of 2024. And I had been going on and on about the lion. You guys, those of you who've been watching and coming here with me every week, you guys know about the lion. And so the lion is in the package. This is one of them. And then get the new one. And this new one is the one he most recently did. And it's Jesus, the Lion, and the Lamb. I'm reading your comments. He is a really good artist. And there you go. No, wrong way again. The camera's there. Okay, there you go. So this is the new one. Jesus, the Lion, and the Lamb. It took him forever. That lamb's wool. But look how real it looks. So There's 4. How are we going to choose? Florida Beach Mom remembers about the Barbary lion, and that is a Barbary lion in that painting. How are we going to choose, though? How are we going to choose? I hadn't thought about that.
You should have.
What do we do? Lou, come help. How are we going to choose someone? Alaska. Hi there, Alaska. I see you in the chat.
A raffle.
A raffle? We don't have time for a raffle. What if I do this?
Couldn't we raffle the name?
What if I just do that and point?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm going to do. We're going to give away all 4. So I'm going to go like this. Should I do it that way? Just point?
No, because you need the information.
Well, yes, I'll say their name, and then they can give you their information to us. They can just email John's email. That's what John said. It's whoever we choose, email John, tell him they're the person, and then he can get their address and we'll send it.
Tell them to type in the comments right now, "He is risen."
Okay, everybody, if you want these 4 paintings sent to you, type "He is risen," and then what will happen?
And then you pick from one of the names on whatever, say X, Rumble, and then you pick the name, and then you'll say their name, and then they must email.
Okay, I'll give you, there's a delay, so I'm going to give everybody a chance. If you want the paintings sent to you, put "He is risen." I'm starting to see them. Oh, they're coming in. This is fun. Oh, we should do this more often. This is fun. Oh my gosh, look at all of them coming in on YouTube. Oh my goodness. Oh, I love seeing that. That's so cool. Because look, all you see is "He is risen, He is risen," all in the chat. It's so much better than when you guys shout at me.
And then we'll pick somebody. We'll do a random
How do I
pick.
do it?
You just scroll and then pick a name. Whatever you feel
I feel
that you
bad,
stop
though.
on.
I don't want to.
Close your eyes while you're scrolling and tap.
I'll pick one.
You do it.
I'll come tell you. I'll tell you. I'll tap you.
Are you going to tap the name? Well, how are you going to choose the name? How are you going to choose?
Don't worry about that.
We're having too much fun here on this Easter.
He's taking that responsibility from you. Let him.
Okay. I don't mind. The House of Destiny app chat is scrolling. If you are watching from the app, I'm a little worried. That's the one that should get it. Oh, I see it. Phyllis. Phyllis. I like Phyllis. This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in this chat. I've never seen anything more beautiful in this chat than all of you writing "He is risen." Praise God. That's beautiful. I love you guys. You're just the best. Are you having a good Easter? I hope you are. I think it's a good Easter this year. We've had so many difficult years. Just, it feels like a good one this year. It really does. Oh, I see. Some people are putting emojis. Oh, wow. He is risen indeed. All right, Phyllis. It's Phyllis. Phyllis is shouting that she's won. Phyllis wins. I've picked her. Bunny, it's Phyllis.
Make sure Bunny hasn't told somebody else.
No, he's got to tell me first. Alphavets are so good about this, I know, and they give away silver. Okay, Phyllis, this is what I want you to do. Phyllis and YouTube. You've won. I think you earned it. Okay, Phyllis, you see that email address at the bottom? I'm going to write your name down too so I don't forget. Phyllis from YouTube. Email my husband, John Petrushka at mac.com. You see it at the bottom? You know what? Can I type in the chat? I'm going to type in the chat. Oh, it's Dad's picture. Okay, that's the email address, Phyllis. Email him, and we will mail all 4 of those to you. I'll write a little something on the back for you. That was fun. We should do that more often. I love to give things away. You got to have stuff to give, though.
I know.
I know it's been rough. My goodness. He is risen, you guys, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Oh, everybody's congratulating Phyllis. You could do a mug. Okay, so why don't we tell everybody what you've been up to? Okay, Jack, walk up to the mic. Come on, walk up to the mic. You've already been on camera. You can come to the mic. Okay, she's coming. Okay, so Jacqueline has started, what is it, ceramics that you're doing?
Yeah, pottery.
Pottery.
Well, I mean, ceramics is pottery.
Is it?
Yes.
I don't know. So you have a kiln.
Yeah.
My sister lives with me, so I know what's there. She has a kiln, and she gets the clay.
Yeah.
And molds, and then cooks it in the
Yes.
kiln. So she made a mug. It was awesome. She made a mug. She comes down, she's got a mug. So my husband put the image of the first painting of Jesus he did. So the first one we were just showing you, the first one, he put that on the mug,
Now we had a
screen printer.
a screen made
Now, what is it?
of the Jesus,
I know.
and
But-
then you put that on the mug, and so you can make a mug with Jesus on
So
it.
you can put, but you can use that screen you had made on anything, on a
too.
shirt,
Yeah.
on a mug.
It's a screen print.
So how do you get it to stay?
You use the right ink. With,
So
the,
it-
with the shirt.
Or
And
with the mug? How did you do with the mug?
It gets cooked on.
It's
a
cooked on.
glaze,
So
it's-
you're
it's
you're
baked on
you're
there.
imprinting the ink on there, and then you're cooking it on, and then
Yes.
you're
You put a
sealing it
clear
with
coat-
epoxy.
Yeah, you put a clear coat of the glaze on.
not
it.
epoxy.
Yeah, no
glaze.
Epoxy. No epoxy.
No epoxy.
Epoxy is not to be eaten
Okay.
off of or drank off of or anything.
Is
like
it?
that. Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know.
you have to get food grade.
Food grade epoxy.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm learning something new right now.
Yeah, no, you have to use special stuff for food.
Okay, so you
Anything for
couldn't use
food or
epoxy, but you did a
body.
glaze. So then they seal it in with a glaze.
And that's just pottery.
Stain Florida Beach Mom is saying, Jacqueline, love all the pottery and the potter's wheel moldings. I love art. I'll try stained glass.
Yes, there's all kinds of things. It's so much fun.
Florida Beach Mom.
Oh, and she's in Florida too.
Jacqueline loves
jealous of
Florida.
you.
Jacqueline loves Florida.
I love Florida. I want to live in Florida.
Someone says, Phyllis, why? Choose Maria. Oh, you guys, that was really hard to choose. I wish I could send all of you one.
I know.
Oh
Shan.
my
That's
gosh.
why I'm saying we could make something.
Glad
Yeah.
Donna's not making the mugs. No, you don't want me to make mugs. You don't want me to do any. I'm not skilled that way, but my husband and my sister are, and my sister
Donna
lives with
has
us.
the gift of the gab.
And so my sister and my husband are both very creative people, have been combining their efforts and coming up with some really good ideas for things.
So we could make
'Cause my-
something to give away.
Why don't we?
Yeah, we could. I
Could
don't
we
see
have
why
something
not.
by next week?
Yes.
Oh,
Make a
I've got to
mug?
think about this, you guys. You guys are going to start getting free stuff. Just show up here. We're going to start giving you stuff. We want to do that. We want to do that.
It is fun.
It would have been cool if each piece was done separately. Oh, yeah. Well, we'll do that next time. We'll do that next time. Today was a special Easter one, and we're giving all 4 away in one go. But we could probably do something with the individual ones. I'm liking this a lot. This was
Maybe
really
there's
fun.
something we could do a giveaway of one of the prints as well. You know.
Yes. I'm looking around, like, what else can we give them? Like, there's this. This is the original. Wait, which one's the original? No, this is the original. Tender Moments. This is I'll tell you about this album. My dad,
See, someone's asking if John can make prints. Yes, we can. Oh, a
prints of
t-shirt.
what? Oh, on the t-shirt.
Yes.
We really want to do the t-shirts, yes. And the thing is figuring out what is the best way to print an image on a t-shirt. So anybody who knows anything, feel free to contact us. Codebreakers,
Well, screen printing is a very nice.
screen printing, is it?
Yeah. 'Cause they
Now,
use-
does that put
So
the
it's not
design
fixed
into the
stuff.
fabric?
Huh?
Does that put the design into the fabric, or is it that plastic on top?
No.
Because
Yeah,
those kind of
that- no,
t-shirts,
No, it puts the actual. It's like printing it on the shirt. The ink that
so the
you
ink
use-
goes into the fabric, so you
it
don't have that.
absorb, but it's not. You don't feel it like
because those always fade.
Yes, those are
So we
cool.
don't want to make a T-shirt that's
not
gonna
like
like you wash it a few times and it's already peeling off
No,
and fade.
I'm
We want it to
using
actually
print
be
and
in the
it still
fabric.
has the print and it's soft and it's stretchy and so it's nice. It does work better
It
than
works better.
not those hard. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's not nice. I don't like it.
Yes.
That's a sticker.
The pre-coat the fabric so the ink stays on top.
There you go. See? Oh. Tyler Sims knows.
Tyler Sims, thank you.
Tyler Sims, we could use your information.
He worked for HP on fabric. Florida Beach Mom says you can use the items for printing on T-shirts from Hobby Lobby. We love Hobby Lobby. There's a Hobby Lobby near our house. We go there all the time. My husband's favorite. He loves to go to Hobby Lobby. But I was telling you about this album. So this is Tender Moments. Do we have this on the website, Lou? In the shop?
I'm busy putting in information for them to scan for it. It's not on the website, but it is available on iTunes.
Is it?
But not on the music app. It's only on iTunes. So on your iPhone, you type in iTunes.
We got to fix that.
That's
because people are going to want this now. I'm going to tell them about this.
You can find it, but it's on iTunes.
Is there a link? Do we have a link?
I'm doing
Perfect.
it right now.
I love you. Thank you.
I'm doing it right now.
Okay, so this Tender Moments, I'll tell you about this album. It's an instrumental worship album my dad made. It's all instrumental. There's no singing in it. All him on the piano, and he made this. I was a teenager, and when he was writing and recording this album, he was doing it out of the garage. Basically, he had his keyboard and his stuff in the garage, and my bedroom was right above the garage. And so he would be playing these songs over and over and over again. And I would fall asleep to this every night. And let me tell you something, how powerful that is. That level of worship. And my dad's down there praying and playing like that. And the first song on this album is called Il Bacio. And I actually wrote that with my dad. He was fiddling around on the piano one night, and I still lived at home. I was 16 and maybe older, and I went and sat down next to him at the piano, and I started to play a melody. And I started to play the melody, and he started to accompany me on the side, and then he just took it from there. And we were up till like 4 a.m. working on the song. So the very first song on this album is called Il Bacio, and I actually I wrote the melody. He made it amazing, but I wrote the melody for that. Song of Hope, Destiny, Jacqueline, named after my sister Jacqueline. But you should absolutely, if you can get this, Lou's put the link in the chat there, and if you guys want to get this album, can we play any of it? Quilts. Florida Beach Mom, I am a big fan of quilts. Big.
Quilting is very interesting.
Quilting is, you know what? That is an art. That is really an art. I had somebody give me a quilt not long after Dad died, and I still have it. I love it. They put their name and address on it, and there's been a number of times I've wanted to contact them, and then things happen, and I never did it. I'm gonna do it one day and ask her for another one, because she made this quilt, and it was so beautiful, but it had the Whistle Stop Cafe sign. She had put the things together, and it was really awesome. So the image you're seeing has this cover, but this was the original cover, and this is an old CD. It's still got the plastic. This still has the plastic. Just memories. Oh my goodness. Florida Beach Mom, we really need to get in touch with you. Socks. We love socks. It's a good idea. We could put stuff on socks.
Hey, yes, that's not
I'm a fan. That's a good idea.
No, that's not a bad idea.
Amanda says on YouTube, I love that album. These instrumentals touch deep in the inner. It really does touch deep in the inner man. I'm telling you, that is right. They are beautiful. There's tender moments and sweet moments. It's been so long. Sweet moments he did first. He did sweet moments and tender moments. And those were the two instrumental worship albums he did when I was a teenager. So this would have been in the 90s. And the way he did that was he had his keyboard and whatever equipment he used in the garage. And he was doing it from the garage, like a garage band. But it was just him. And I was upstairs, a teenager falling asleep to that every night. And let me tell you, nothing beats that. A shirt. See, I'm a big fan. Oh, tote bags. Boots on the ground socks. You guys are brilliant. Okay, boots on the ground. I see so many people using, like in the Christian circles, using that boots on the ground now. We know who started that. My dad. Shirts. Quilts. You know what I like? I like the idea of and I've said to you guys before, if you go to my YouTube channel, you see the little t-shirts I made, the somewhere in the future, you look much better than you look right now for girls with a pink rose. And death to death, the death to death. And it's like a proclamation that you're wearing. And you know, when you wear a shirt, it represents, like, I'm always very conscious of what I have on a shirt. Because I know that wherever I go, that's the message being sent. And so it's very powerful, actually. And if you have things, Florida Beach Mom. Sorry, I'm getting distracted because I'm listening to you. Prayer shawls. We actually found some of the blue from the garden mantles. Now, we don't make those anymore. The guy that used to make those for my dad no longer does it, or I don't know what's happened there. So those are extremely valuable. And we actually thought we only had one or two left, and we found a few still wrapped in plastic. It's in California, but they called me and said they found them. Hoodies. Well, listen, if we do a shirt, we're doing a hoodie. I'm a big hoodie. We are all big hoodie people. This family. Tyler Sims has sent a link. What happens if I click this link, Lou? Can I? Or do you have to? Nothing? Nothing will happen. What if I click it anyway? I did, and something did happen. It's on the screen. Fabric. Expand your offering to include unique fabric applications that address new trends while enhancing your profit potential with HP fabric printers. Okay. I got the link and it worked. Thank you, Tyler. Bottles, labels, plastics, fabrics, amazing stuff. And you know what? Stickers. Stickers is another thing I love, a sticker. My husband made a logo for his YouTube channel, and it is really cool because he used I don't know if he used Grok or AI to sort of create it so it would be in motion. It's really cool. And but he had stickers made. Window decals, iPhone colors, calendars. Now the calendar, this is what's going to happen with the calendar. Once we have 12 of the Jesus paintings, we're making a calendar. That's the ultimate plan. So far, we have 4. So we've got January, February, March, April. So as soon as he's done 12 paintings, then we will make a calendar. Yeah, you can definitely, if you just, wherever you download music, search My Dad, it'll be there. And that is going to be, we are planning on releasing new music not new music, but music that is unreleased of my dad, specifically live worship. Because you guys know my dad never did a song the same.
No.
And so every time he would do a song or perform a song, or I don't want to say perform because he was worshiping, but every time it was different, a little bit different.
Yeah. Well, your mom and I have been working hard on this. So it is available everywhere you find music, even Spotify.
Great.
Good.
I knew you guys were doing
everywhere you can. Just search Kim Clement and you will find
the lion on a ball cap. Sorry, go ahead, buddy.
Someone on the app said a golf towel.
A golf towel.
Mm,
Good idea. Well, I mean, the sky's the limit.
it is. It's just the time that's not. To me.
I know we're running out of time. We haven't even played any prophecies today. You know what? It's just because we're just having fun together today on Easter. I got to go to the White House, not to the side, but actually in the White House. That is unimaginable to me. I remember when Dad went to the White House when George W. Bush was president, and he
Yes.
took Michael Babin with him. You guys saw Gabriel Babin, who was here a couple weeks ago. His dad, Michael, you remember we were telling you he's so tall, and the two of them went to the White House. And I don't know what happened.
He
I don't
didn't. Your
know.
dad didn't really talk. He doesn't talk about things like that. He would just
No, he
mention
wasn't. But it
stuff.
wasn't. It was just kind of like what I just did.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he was going to meet the
But I
president. It
know
wasn't
he
like
did.
that.
He did write letters to when he had a word for the president. He did tell.
Yeah.
With 9/11, he told them about it. They wrote a letter, and Obama actually did what your dad was telling Bush to do.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Forgotten all that stuff. It's been so many years.
I've been watching a lot of our archive stuff.
Our archive stuff.
So,
You
and
are
I've
right
been,
in the middle
and
of
I've
that.
been going through prophecy things like searching up keywords on our website, and especially like
You've
with
been in the
Iran,
database.
and just going through things, and you type
I'm working
it in,
on Israel right now.
and there's so much there, so much.
So much on Israel, you guys. I am working on Israel prophecies. That'll be the next. I did the Iran video
Hmm.
most recently. I'm working on Israel, and there's 300 and something times my dad says Israel in that database. So to go through and see, okay, was this a prophecy about Israel, or did he just say it? And is it worth putting in the video? So that's what I'm.
I also would like to add before we finish. I do have a song that I want to play at the end.
Oh, let's do that. What prophecies did I have? No, I should.
But I want to say, if you go to houseofdestiny.org, we have Destiny Worship. It's on our website. You can play it from your phone. You can play it wherever you want.
Yes.
And we have Jane Clement, Kim Clement's wife, selected some songs of Kim's, and it's there. It's called Jane's Picks or something like that. What she chose of the songs she liked. And we have so many different worship songs on there. So go to houseofdestiny.org, go to our channel section and click on Destiny Worship. It's
Destiny Worship.
It's amazing. And on our app
I
too,
use that.
on our
I
app
use
too,
that.
It's
on the app
there.
as well.
Yeah. And we're going to be adding more songs. 'Cause I've been finding songs of your dad from like when he was outside the Capitol, when he was singing. And I found some other songs from like that we don't, the quality of the
When
videos.
he's outside the Capitol and he's singing,
yeah.
he was with Tim and Sally Ayers, and they had the whole choir there, and it started raining like that.
Yes.
Oh, that is beautiful.
So I'm actually, we're going to be talking about it, and I'm wanting to add those songs to our Destiny Worship website.
Just keep adding to it, because you know what, a lot of people really appreciate the worship.
Yeah.
He had a my dad was a very anointed worshiper, and that's where it all started for him. Was there with the worship. He started out wanting to be a worship leader, but he had to work his way.
Well,
but he did.
The thing is, worship gets us into the presence of God. That's you go from the outer court to the inner court to the Holy of Holies. The inner court is where you just give yourself to God in worship. That's how you enter into the Holy of Holies. And when I used to listen to your dad, I mean, even now, when I'm not feeling well or anything like that, his last album he released,
Freedom for the Soul.
Freedom for the Soul, all instrumental. I put that on, and the atmosphere changes.
It does.
Instantly.
Well, Freedom for the Soul, that was his last album.
And that is available on our
album.
website, and it's available wherever you buy your music. That is also available. But listen, it just changes the atmosphere. You feel down, you feel hurt, you feel sick. You just play that.
Yes.
And the whole atmosphere. I remember standing there at the studio, and your dad's work, and the tears would just run because the air would get thick with the anointing. Yes. And it was, you just stood there.
That's how it felt when we were in the White House, and and they were praying
Yeah.
the other day, and it's so interesting to me that Franklin Graham prayed about Esther.
Mm-hmm.
It is fitting because we are at war with Iran, with the regime in Iran, and that is where it all happened. And you think my dad prophesied so much about Iran.
And this year's the middle of the presidency. Remember, in the prophecy says, in the middle of the presidency.
Is it the middle now?
Yeah, we're in the
26th.
second year
Yeah.
of the presidency.
When are the midterms?
November?
This November.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting stressed out already. Okay, you guys,
I've got a worship song.
we've got a worship song to play for you before we go today. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your support too. If you are interested, I'm just looking to see. Yeah, it is. Okay, so if you want to give an offering to our ministry and support us, you can see at the bottom of the screen scrolling there right now are the ways in which you can give. And, it's really important that we sow our seeds somewhere that is producing good fruit, or that will. And God will always guide you. So you pray and ask God if this is a place you would like to sow a seed. And if it is, there's all the ways you can do it below. We like to give to you guys. So especially because we appreciate the support so much. We do not have big, high donors. None. There's no big, high donors. There is nobody giving us money, especially in large sums. The way that we operate and the way that we're able to do this and everything that we do at the House of Destiny Network comes from you. Your $5 in your face offerings, your $1, your $2. It sustains us, and that's how we manage to keep going. We're not a big, huge operation. We're a small legacy ministry. But the prophecies and the things that were prophesied are coming to pass now. And that is why it's so important that we're here now, to make sure that everybody gets a chance to hear it. They can determine what they feel about it, if they believe in prophecy or not, whatever the case may be. But our job is to make sure that you get a chance to hear it, and that as many as people as possible get a chance to at least hear it. And it's because of your support that not just anybody heard it. President Trump himself heard what was prophesied about him and could see not only how accurate it was, but if you think about the Donald and Clark prophecy, where Clay Clark sat with him in his office in 2023, and he said, there's a man named Donald and a man named Clark. You're both watching me. That would not have happened without your support. And so we really appreciate that, because that also tells us, we should keep going. We should keep doing this, because we've lost my dad. 10 years ago, this November will be 10 years. And I never dreamed that in 10 years, so much of the prophecies would be coming to pass, or that they would happen the way that they did. There's been a great lesson for me in the fulfillment of prophecy. And not, I was around it my whole life growing up. I knew nothing else. My dad was a prophet. I figured out at some point that was highly unusual. But because it was so familiar to me, I just sort of took it for granted. And so after Dad died, and I was actually responsible for the prophecies, obviously not prophesying them, but carrying them. What do I do? Do I bury them and hide them away? Or do I share them? And it all started me sharing it on YouTube, sharing a prophecy. Actually, the one I was going to play for you about the UN, but you know what? We'll get into some prophecy next week. Today was Easter. It was a different kind of day today. I did have some stuff lined up, but it's stuff you've seen before. And but this helps with faith. If God shares with you a little bit about what is to come, and prepares you and gives you the ability to prepare others. And now is a time for us to be united, not divided. I absolutely hate all of the division and the accusations and the pointing of fingers. And it's necessary to expose darkness, and I'm not against that. Like, if someone's up to no good, especially in the church, they need to be called out. But that's not what's going on. That's not what's happening here. It's a very demonic. It's fracturing and weakening us coming up to the midterms. And what we don't want to happen is people not show up to vote, and then the left just gets the reins, almost again, because if they get the House, they're going to just start trying to impeach him again. And so we really need unity, and we need to be together. And there are arguments to be had, but we've had 2,000 years to have those arguments, and we are at a moment in time that it is crucial that we are victorious. And the good news is that we will be, and that's what these prophecies have shown us, and it's prepared us. Even if it's just a little bit, it helped. And so thank you for supporting us for all these years, and thank you for being here today. And I do love all of you. I so enjoy our time together every week. It really is. It's just beautiful. So don't miss tomorrow. We have Prophetic Rewind. Don't miss that. Tuesday, I wasn't there last Tuesday to pray with you guys. Fawn, Christy took it, but I was driving to the White House and I was so excited. But I will be here this Tuesday. And so 7 p.m. Central Time, right where you are right now watching us, come back here, 7 p.m. Central Time, and we will pray with you and for you live. And then on Wednesday, analysis. Don't miss that. Me and Christy get together and we really are a lot more formal in how we present the prophecies and the news and the analysis of what is happening. So don't miss that. We've got something for you every day of the week here at the House of Destiny Network. Fridays, we have Israel Update. That's really important right now. So don't miss that. Thursdays, we have Real Life, Real Faith, and or prophetic perspectives of the prophetic. I never know what to call his show. Prophetic perspectives or perspectives of the prophetic. But it's with Charlie Jordan, and he's awesome. And then we'll be back here. Of course, Saturdays we have Church with Fa, and then we'll be back here next Sunday. So let's see what happens this week, guys. And then we will regroup back here, and I promise you I will have more prophecies to play for you next week, because there's a number of prophecies I'm looking at right now, and we will really get into it next week. Also, everybody, please pray for Trey Smith. Trey will be okay, but do just pray for him, especially tomorrow. I don't want to say too much, but he will be needing prayers. He's having surgery tomorrow, and he needs us to all pray for him. So everybody, please pray for Trey Smith, and then I will bring him back as soon as he's ready to cut, because he's got a lot to share. I've been talking to him the last few days, and he's got a lot of good perspective on these prophecies and things going on. So we'll be hearing from him soon. If it's not next week, it'll be the week after, but we'll announce it for you. And so very excited about this week. Very excited to see what God is going to do. And so grateful that he is risen. And today was a wonderful Easter. So I love you all, and we will see you next week.
Of the earth, let them shout for the triumph that shall come upon the nations of the earth. Come on, come on. Victory. I said it's a tune of victory. Everybody shout, rejoice. Everybody shout, rejoice for the victory. Everybody shout, rejoice for the victory, for the favor. Everybody shout, rejoice for the favor. Come on! Everybody shout, rejoice for the favor. God's coming to you, come on. Everybody shout, rejoice for the favor. Again. Everybody shout, rejoice for the victory. Everybody shout for the victory. Again. Everybody shout. 2027 is going to be your greatest year. I mean that. I'm talking about here in Jubilee in San Jose and all throughout the earth. God wants to supply in a very special way. I want you to raise your hands to God and wave them like this, come on, so that the whole earth can hear a sound from the United States of America. They can hear and see the people saying, we are in agreement that the Lord of hosts is tearing a veil, and we want you to know that we're in agreement, that there is something special that God's going to bring to our house, to our family. It's the time of multiplication. It's the end of the season of subtraction. It's time for acceleration. God's going to do it. Are you ready? Are you ready? Shout! To hell with the devil and the kingdom of darkness. We will enter you into our promise. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah. I will multiply in favor. I will multiply in favor. I will multiply. I will multiply. Acceleration and multiplication upon you right now. Rejoice in it. Rejoice in it. Come on. Hallelujah. Yeah. I will multiply in favor. I will multiply in riches. In riches. I will multiply in blessings. In blessings. I will multiply favor. Outrageous.
Hello, friends. I'm Donna Clement Petrushka, and I am honored to invite you to something truly extraordinary, the Kim Clement Prophecy Vault. Now you can gain unprecedented access to my father's entire digitized video archive. Every prophetic moment, every powerful teaching, every anointed worship session is now available to you in the Prophecy Vault. We've also enhanced the prophecy database, meticulously updating it with new video content and profound insights. Plus, I'm excited to share that my dad's special School of the Prophets teachings are included, offering you deep, transformative lessons on hearing God's voice and understanding his revelations. As part of your membership, you'll also gain access to my prophecy blog, where I break down and analyze my father's prophecies, connecting them to current events. This blog will provide you with exclusive insights and a deeper understanding of how God's word is unfolding right now. And we're offering something truly special: exclusive analysis sessions available only to members of the Prophecy Vault. These sessions will go beyond the surface, providing in-depth exploration of specific prophecies and their implications for today and the future. Your partnership is crucial. Not only will you gain access to these incredible resources, but you'll also help us continue the vital work of preserving, digitizing, and adding new Kim Clement material to the archives. So, I'm inviting you to step into the Kim Clement Prophecy Vault. Let's embark on this journey of revelation together, and I can't wait to see you inside.